Could one of the best programs in college basketball in the Gonzaga Bulldogs be headed to the Big 12 Conference? If Commissioner Brett Yormark has anything to say about it, the answer is a resounding yes. Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's RC Maxwell here for the Back to 12 podcast. If you haven't already, be sure to like the video and hit that subscribe button to stay in the know on all things Big 12 news, rumors when it comes to, well, Big 12 expansion, realignment. It doesn't seem like it's going to stop anytime soon. So you need to stay in the know right here on the most engaging Big 12 community here on YouTube in the Back to 12 podcast channel. Let's not waste any time here, right? Let's jump into this Seth Davis report from the Messenger. A lot of y'all know Seth Davis from CBS Sports, still works there as well. He's a reporter for them, but he's also a senior writer for the Messenger, is one of those guys as well in the college basketball space that whatever he says, it's not quite the gospel, but it's damn near close to it, right? And he came out with a stunner of a report on Monday, October 9th, reading there has been a renewed push spearheaded by Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yormark for Gonzaga's inclusion into the Big 12. Yormark, according to Davis, made a presentation involving a presentation deck that laid out the data and strategy potentially behind the potential move to add the Bulldogs to the conference as a basketball-only school. Now, Davis also said that Yormark's proposal took some attendees by surprise for the sheer standpoint of, think about what the Big 12 Conference has been through these past few years, right? Obviously, you had Texas and Oklahoma leaving. You had no idea what this conference was going to look like moving forward. You did a great job, did Bob Bowlesby, in terms of setting Brett Yormark up for success by adding the 4 new schools that are currently in the Big 12 this year in UCF, Cincinnati, BYU, and Houston, right? But Brett Yormark went out, added more, got the 4 corner schools and the Arizona schools. Then you got Colorado and Utah. But if you look at this, remember, Brett Yormark publicly came out and said in mid-August, and listen, I understand before I say what he said, a lot of things change really quickly when it comes down to realignment, right? Simple and plain. Realignment can change that quick, right? Hopefully that snap came through the microphone. It sounded good next to me. Anyway, back in mid-August, during this Big 12 realignment conversation, Brett Yormark came out and said they are no longer ongoing conversations with Gonzaga after adding Arizona, Arizona State, Colorado, and Utah. Remember, though, prior to lining up those 4 schools in August, Yormark had conducted realignment negotiations for several months with Gonzaga and UConn. Davis has said in this one, UConn, there's been no conversation starting again with the Huskies, but it's not a surprise that they're targeting Gonzaga either. And maybe with these conversations with Gonzaga, this will start the conversations with UConn. But right now, it's just strictly the Bulldogs and Mark Few's program up there in Spokane, right? Which would be an astronomical get, in my opinion. We'll talk about that a little bit more in depth. I want to hear from you guys, though. Do you want to see the Big 12 add Gonzaga as a basketball-only school? A simple Y for yes or N for no. It sounds like Commissioner Yormark wants it, but I'm curious to hear y'all's opinion here on one of the most engaging YouTube channels there is when it comes to Big 12 news. So let me know down in the pinned comment below. All right, let's get into Seth Davis a little bit more in terms of his report via the Messenger and Gonzaga potentially being added to the Big 12. And right now, it feels like with Brett Yormark and what he's done in terms of his resume, this feels like it could get done relatively quick here. And Brett McMurphy actually came out of the Action Network and said this could happen here in the next 2 weeks. So this is something that could happen really, really quick and maybe happen prior to tip-off of major college basketball. But let's stick to Seth Davis and his report via the Messenger. Sources told the Messenger, according to Davis, that Yormark would like to see Gonzaga join the Big 12 Conference as a basketball-only school for the 2024-2025 season. But that timetable would be best-case scenario, right? He also went on to say that a lot of the ADs and everything in terms of their specific athletic departments are curious about logistical questions, right? In terms of there's some that needs to be answered, such as scheduling and how would the conference realign the conference tournament with an odd number of 17 schools if Gonzaga was added. Now, the one big thing in all of this, before I get into my final opinion here, Brett Yormark has officially received permission from the Big 12 presidents to continue negotiations. That's, again, because of the success that Brett Yormark has had, right? He's earned that, right? This isn't one of those things where they're just giving a newbie the keys to the Ferrari, right? Like, Brett Yormark has earned to have those conversations for what he's done in terms of expanding the Big 12 footprint, not only from a geography standpoint, right, but also a social media standpoint, right? If Brett Yormark thinks that Gonzaga is a worthwhile ad, I think everybody has the opportunity and should allow him to go out and do it, right? I think Yormark has 100% earned it, and I think he 100% wants it to happen, right? Like, I think he does, right? He understands the importance of college basketball to this conference, right? Let's be real about it if you're a Big 12 fan. Big 12 football is not going to compete with the SEC. It's not going to compete with the Big 10. But damn it, when you think about the best men's basketball conference in America for the past decade plus, it has been the Big 12. He wants to continue that to where there will be just a crazy amount of eyeballs on this conference when it comes to March Madness, right? That's what he wants. He understands the position he's in. And what better opportunity to go out and add one of those, maybe not quite a blue blood in Gonzaga, but maybe the second tier blue blood, right? Like, go out there and add a relevant and prominent name specifically on the West Coast where you can maybe potentially create a bubble type deal where you got the Utahs going up there, obviously Arizona State, Colorado, Arizona, schools like that, right? But again, adding a school like Gonzaga from a national brand standpoint, specifically in basketball, right, cannot go understated for the Big 12. And now, this is just my opinion. This is not Seth Davis. I truly believe if Gonzaga is added, I would not be shocked at all if they start to target UConn as well. And UConn is a blue blood, right? They are focusing, the Big 12 is, on men's college basketball, and rightfully so, right? They have done a phenomenal job in the Final Four, getting there, and just the NCAA tournament in general. Why not go get two of the biggest absolute name-recognized brands in the country when it comes to men's college basketball in Gonzaga, and then one on the East Coast to appease those schools as well, like Cincinnati and West Virginia, and a school like UConn? It would be perfect. But as of right now, again, the biggest thing in this, Yormark has received permission from the Big 12 presidents to continue negotiations. And Seth Davis with an absolute bombshell when it came down to it, that he reported for the Messenger, and he is also a CBS Sports Writer as well, or a reporter for them, excuse me. There has been a renewed push spearheaded by Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yormark for Gonzaga's inclusion into the Big 12 Conference as a basketball-only school. Would absolutely be monumental for the Big 12 to add a school like Gonzaga. One more time, though, I want to hear from you guys. Again, we're really engaging here. Be sure to subscribe, like the video as well, but let us know on the pinned comment down below as well. Would you like to see Gonzaga added to the Big 12 as a basketball-only school? A simple Y for yes or N for no. I am RC Maxfield, reminding you, for the latest Big 12 news and rumors all year long, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button to stay in the know right here on the Back to 12 podcast channel.